Hello, class. This is Mr. Aguilar. As you guys can tell, you guys are on Chromebooks right now. We're going to try something different for review today. I have another activity for homework. We're going to try this out and see how it goes. Right now, you guys have in front of you the test review. You guys have a test tomorrow, so I definitely want to go over material. These are just some of the practice stuff we need to go over. There's 4 parts to it, front and back. These are located on YouTube. I'll be able to send you a bit.ly after we're done here. And it's located on the back side of the paper at the way bottom. So you can always click back on it or type it in on your phone into YouTube and get it towards you. So let's begin. The first part that we're looking at that we've done so far is the CPCTC, or corresponding parts of congruent figure, or congruent triangles are congruent. So if 2 triangles are congruent, their corresponding parts are congruent. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to have you guys copy down the first part. We want to be able to identify all the angles and all the sides. Once we can say that, this is again the intro part to it. If we can identify all those parts, we can definitely identify that the parts are congruent. The 2 triangles are congruent. Congruent means the same. Here are our practice problems. I'll give you guys some time to copy those down as I'm talking. If I'm talking too fast, pause the video. If I'm not making sense, pause the video, rewind, and we're going to continue. So I'll give you guys some time. Pause it if you need to. I think I might. So here we go. To identify all the congruent parts, we want to be able to see how the figures are congruent. And if we can find one part that is not, we can therefore say the triangles are not congruent. When looking at practice 1, we want to be able to see that the identifying parts of these are all the same. So looking at congruent parts, let's look at sides first. We can definitely identify that part AC is congruent to part DF. Okay, they're both equal to 7.9. We have these 2 parts that are congruent. But if we continue on going and we're looking at the bottom portion, and the bottom will be in green, we can say that AB to one part of the triangle is also congruent to DE. And we're good so far that the bottom portions are congruent. So once we can say that, they are still going. The next part that we want to be able to look at is the next side, or the last side. And if we're identifying this, I want to say that CB is congruent to, let's see, FE. And if we notice those, that 8.5 and 8.4 are definitely not the same. So when looking at these, we can definitely say not congruent. Okay, these triangles are definitely not the same. A portion of their parts are not equal to, so we can move on. As long as you show one part is not congruent, those triangles are not congruent. If we're looking at practice number 2, we want to do the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and do the sides. Let's start out with the hypotenuse. We say that JG is congruent to, let's see, JG is congruent to MK. Oh, it's a bad K, but it's okay. We also want to be able to say the other parts are congruent. So if I go back and I'm looking at the bottom leg, so JH should be congruent to, let's see, JH should be congruent to ML. We're going to be okay with that. And then we want to see the other side, which is the medium leg, which is GH is congruent to, see, GH would be KL. KL. So we did the side portions of them. We're done with that. We now also got to be able to say that the angles are also congruent, right? All parts, all congruents. All parts need to be congruent. So if we're looking at the next one, we're going to go ahead and look at the 90-degree angle. Our 90-degree angle H and angle L are the same. So H is congruent to L. And these are angles. I would put the angle sign in there. I'm hoping you guys can see that We also want to be able to see that the next ones are. So I'm going to go with G. G should also be congruent to angle K, which looks like it to be 30. So we're good on that aspect. And the last one we want to be able to see is our last side, which is J, is congruent to M. So that's our reason, and that's what we want to be able to explain and see. All parts, all three parts, all the sides, and all angles are congruent. Therefore, both triangles are congruent. I want you guys to still be able to give me a congruent statement. In this case, I would say that our triangle HJG is going to be congruent to triangle HJG, should be congruent to LMK. Right? Does that work? HJG and LMK. Yes, we're good. So that's our first part that we wanted to see. I do want you guys to try out the bottom one. So here we go. I'm going to give you guys some time. Those are the ones. Go ahead and copy those down. Pause the videos if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and see what you guys can do. I hope you guys pause it already. If not, play one round. See what you guys can do. Hopefully you guys paused it. I want to make sure you guys are doing these correctly. So really what we need to show is just that one part is congruent. One part is not congruent, because if all parts are congruent, we can say that both triangles are done. So this one we're going to go and show all of them. Next one, we will try to find that out. I'm hoping you guys did this one correctly. I'm going to color code these so you guys can see these, but I want you guys to write down all the parts. We can definitely say that R corresponds to W, at least for one part. The next one that we can say is T corresponds to U. So that means we have two angles that are congruent. And our last one is S is congruent to V. So angles are all congruent. Let's make sure that the sides are congruent. We're going to see that the bottom base of this RT is congruent to WU or UW. So that's one side. We also want to see that RS is congruent to WV, right? Same markings on both sides are congruent. And we can also see our final side, which is ST and VU are congruent. We can say that these two are congruent. I'm hoping you guys wrote that one down. If you need me to go over it, let me know. The next example that we want to see automatically screams out to me because I want to be able to do the sides. The sides seem to be the most easiest part to do. Look at the numbers or look at the notches, and we can definitely see that we only have one of the sides being congruent, and that's all what it really tells us is one of the sides is congruent. Even when we're looking at the angles, one part of the angles are not even the same. We can look at that we have a 79 with a 78. These are definitely not congruent. These are definitely a bad version of this. So we don't want to be able to say that. Ooh, what happened? No, we definitely want to say that. So just looking at that, we're only giving one side one angle. These would definitely not be congruent. Okay, I know you guys have done a lot of review on this, so I'm not too worried about you guys. The next video that I have will have that with you. So let's look at the second part. Let's go ahead and continue. The next part that we did was part 2. It was triangle congruencies. You guys did okay on the quizzes on this. You guys had some mix up with the groups, but I definitely want to make sure we're covering them all. Looking at the first 5 that we covered, those seem to be the angle congruencies, and these angle congruencies help us with determining the shortcuts of how to actually show that two triangles are the same. So when looking at these, we're going to go ahead and say our first one that we looked up was angle side angle, and we have a angle that matches up with an angle. We have another angle that matches up, and we'll just put 2 notches there. and we're going to say that we have an included side to that, meaning that the side is in between both angles. If we have a type of congruence with that, with two triangles, we can definitely say they're congruent. If we're looking at the other version, we have side angle side, which tells me if I have two sides that are congruent. In this case, we're going to look at the backwards where we have an included angle. We can say that those two are also congruent. We also have a side, 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 where if we can match up the sides that correspond with each of the sides of a triangle. So if all sides have congruent parts to the other sides of another triangle, we can say they're congruent. We also have the next one, which is an included angle with an included angle. And we also have another included angle with a side. We can say that they're congruent. And I kind of made that 2 notches, so I might as well make the other one 2 notches. We're okay with that. Okay, so that's definitely the one we want to look at. So I'm going to move my picture around to kind of get this, but the last one we want to be able to see is the hypotenuse leg. This was the last one we looked at. You guys know that the only way we can use hypotenuse leg is if we have a right triangle. So that means one of the angles is 90. If we do not have that, we cannot show hypotenuse leg. So I have to erase that. So if we have an angle that is 90, we're going to be okay with that. That's the first notice we want to look at. And the second part is that we have the hypotenuse on both triangles that are included and corresponding with one leg of another. We can basically say that they are congruent. These are the ones that we're looking at, and those are the ones we want to practice. So we're going to continue with these. Okay. The quick notes on these is we can use any triangle congruence, can show both triangles are the same. The only two big ones we cannot are our angle, 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 and side, side, angle, right? We can't read that in reverse or else it's bad. So, but can't have triple angle, can't have side, side, angle, or angle, side, side. Okay, so take some time, copy those down, pause it if you need to before we continue. Hoping you guys did that, trying to save some time on this. We want to look at the practice problems on these, and I'm hoping you guys can be able to identify them. The first thing that screams out to me and what we talked about is if you can input any information, and the really two that we want to look at is if we have a vertical angle that we can input, or we have sides that share, or the reflexive property that they share that same side. Looking at practice problem number 1, we can definitely say that we have a back that shares the same. So I can put those parts in. Will it help us? Will it not? I don't know. Okay. The other part that I know is that I know that the angle D right here is supplementary. That means the other side of this also has to be 90. So looking at right there, I want to be able to identify the angles. I know that I have an angle right here. I have a side right here, and I have an angle in one of my triangles. If I'm looking at the other case, I can also match it. So I also want to look at that I have an angle, side, angle. In that case, because we have one of those types of congruence, we can say that those are congruent. So I'm going to say yes to that. We're good. Okay. That's how you guys want to be able to do these. Just put in all the information you know, and then add what you can. Unless it's there, you cannot. Looking at practice number 2, again, we're looking at two triangles that butt up with each other. So if I see that they butt up, I can put that length in. This is a reflexive property that we know that they share that same line. PR and RP are the same. We are also given that the sides, in this case, are not notches, but they're given that the sides are congruent. So if you want to put a little congruent marks in there because you're used to it, put them in there. Let's see if it works. Looking at this case, let's look at the two triangles and let's see if we can identify them as congruent or not. First, I want to be able to see that I have a side for the bottom one. I have an angle, and then I have another side. So this holds that it's almost a side angle side. Looking at the top one, I can do the same thing, which kind of screams out to me. I have a side angle side that matches up. So in this case, we definitely want to say side angle side does approve, and they are congruent. The other one that we previously looked at was angle side angle, so I apologize for not putting that in. So those are the two that we're looking at that are going to help us solve out. Looking at the third case, practice number 3. Again, we have another side that butts up, so I know I can put in D and F as a congruent sides to those. And I can put 3, I can put 4. I know that they're the same, so I want to be able to put those in. Looking at these, we want to be able to identify again whether we have a triangle congruence. Again, these are shortcuts because if we had to show CPCFC or CPCTC, we'd have to show all angles and all sides are congruent. But if we just use one of these 5 to show it, it's quicker. We only have to show 3 parts to it, either an angle or side, depending on what the angle congruence tells us, and we're done. I'm looking at these. I do have a side, side, side congruent. So this one is definitely side, side, side. And looking at the other case that I'm looking up at, I'm the one right up above it. We're looking at a side, side, side. So they both share congruent markings. They correspond to those parts. And we're done here. We can say that they're congruent by side angles, or side, 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 sorry. The next part, and the last and final practice is going to be the following. We have another side we can put in because CB and CB are the same. So I'm trying to put that one in there. It's a little bit tight, but let's see what we have. In this case, that we're looking at, I'm going to erase this because I don't like it. Erase. So I'll try to make those a little bit clearer for you guys. We want to be able to see that the CB is congruent. So let's see what kind of relation they have, and maybe we can use this. Depending on how you want to read this, I end up having side, side angle. So this is my side, side angle. And we do have a side, side angle, side, side angle. But if we're looking at our 2 triangle congruencies or anything up on the top of those, the one that kind of stands out for us in looking at all these is that we're getting that angle, side angle, side angle, side, 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 angle, angle, side, or hypotenuse leg isn't one of these. So this is definitely not the one we want to be able to use. So even though they might show it, we can definitely say that they're not congruent because we cannot have a side, side angle. So this is bad, right? Bad. We don't want to use that word. Okay, so those are what we want to be able to identify. Again, on your test, it should be very clear for you guys to identify them. I'm double checking, triple checking. I'm doing it myself to make sure that it happens. I want you guys to practice the next one, so I'm going to go ahead and give you them. Copy those down, pause the video, and try them. Hoping you guys did that. I'm hoping you guys are done by this time. You guys should be. If you need help going back, okay, do that definitely. Looking at example number 1, I definitely want to look at number 1 and go example number 1. I have a 30 millimeter, so those sides match up. Boom, 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 boom. I know that I have an angle that matches up, and I know that CB is the same. Oh, what happened with that? I know that CB is the same with that. Oh, what did I do? Okay, sorry. CB is the same. So I can put that in there, trying to get the right color for it. So right there, in this case, you want to be able to identify that we have a side angle. So I have a side angle side and a side angle side with that. So I have an SAS, which is the one of them we can use. So I will say that they are congruent. We are good with that second one. The second example is very, very clear. We are identifying that we have a side congruent with this side. We're going to continue on just doing the same kind of process. The 2 markings with the 2 markings with DE. And we're seeing that third side being congruent with CB and EF because all 3 sides are congruent. We do share a side, side, side congruencies. And we're done. We're done with that one. I think the side, side, side is the easiest one for you guys to see. and side angle side are the easiest ones that you guys have been getting at. The next case that we have here in example 3 is the following. We have a angle congruence on one side that matches up with the angle on this one. We do have B matches up with E. So right now I have an angle, 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 and angle matchup. The only one I really need to look for. The last one and the only congruence ones that I have for is that the sides match up as well. So I have an angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So in this case, angle, angle, side is the second to the last one, and we do know that they're also congruent. Working on the next one, we'll see how they are congruent. I'm hoping you guys identify that since they butt up and they're back to back with each other, it's only when they're back to back can we make the markings, and we're going to say that DC are the same. When looking at these, we also have a 90-degree angle. It's also a linear pair, so I also know that this backside is also 90 degrees. And looking at that, it looks like I'm given two sides and an angle with no included side or no included angle. So I know that this has to be a side, side, angle, side, side, angle. Side, side, angle is definitely not a congruence mark. That's one of the bad cases that we have. Gonna move up the last one for you. Even though we're not given marks this time, we can still show that they're congruent. I know that our last case that we're looking at is that we have these other properties we can use. Do I like that last one? We can actually solve these out. You guys know the properties not to do so. When we're looking at this last one, we know that the sum of the triangles adds up to 180. So we could solve this out. I'm just going to go ahead and do it for you. That we know this to be 30. And we know that to be 30. And the other angle up here to be 121. If we're solving both of them, we can definitely make them out. When looking at these, again, could we use all our information? You want to see which ones you can use. Looking at this one, I'm given two angles. So my 29 and my 30 are the same. And I can look at the base that is also the same, which I'm hoping you guys are identifying, which is 93 and 93. This is a trickier one. This is why I put it at number 5, but I'm hoping you guys are able to do this. So this would actually be a angle side angle congruencies, even though we can still solve that out. So that's kind of the extension of that problem. I'm hoping you guys are there for those. Okay. I'm going to pause it just for a quick second, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to talk about this. Now that we're back, I'm hoping you guys see that we're moving on. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this. A little bit trickier, but I want you guys to try these next ones out on your own. I'll be walking around the classroom to help you guys out. So here we go. Right in front of you, we have the triangle sum theorem, where the sum of the angles inside of a triangle will always add up to 180. We've done plenty of practices with these. We will always do these. You will have these on your test. You will have these on your test. Okay, so looking at these, my quick notes on these that I always want to remember is that we can use it to find the missing angle inside of a triangle, and the sum will always add up to 180. Okay, this goes back to first semester. When you're solving angles, you got to be able to do those, okay, period. Go Dodgers, yay. Okay, but I definitely want to make sure that you guys know that. You guys have to solve for those, so here we go. Parts of these, if you need to pause it before I continue, please do so you can copy that down. I'm hoping you guys did that, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. Looking at these first ones, the sum of the angles, I want to solve for the question mark, so I can definitely do that by adding them all up. I'm going to label this variable or the question mark x just so it's out there for you guys to be able to see something different or a variable inside of an equation. When looking at these, I want to be able to say that 35 degrees plus 80 degrees plus x will add up to 180. It doesn't matter where I started it out from as long as you're adding up. 1 plus 2 is always 3, even 2 plus 1. So no matter where you switch it, as long as you're adding them, you're going to get the same value. I'm hoping you guys combine in like terms, which we're going to add these up right here. 80 and 35 is 115. X is equal to 180. We're going to solve these out by subtracting 115 from both. Oh, made a boo-boo. 115. Okay, we're going to get that our values are going to cancel away. And we're going to be left with X is equal to, what was it? Carry the 5. Let's see, drop the 1. Let's see, 7. 65. 65 degrees. So I know that angle to be 65. I'm hoping you guys were able to see that for it. Looking at the next ones, we want to be able to see is the other angles. Again, I'm going to go ahead and identify this little part as X, just so you guys have it as a variable inside of our equation. But we know that all the angles sums add up to 180. So 72 plus 66 plus X is going to be equal to 180. Bravo. I'm hoping you guys are able to do these. You guys will be able to use calculators on the test, so this is one kind of fun thing you guys can do. 72 plus 66, you see that's 8. 7 is 138 plus X is equal to 180. We're going to go ahead and subtract 138 from both sides. We want to make sure that we're subtracting on both sides, not on the same sides. These are going to cancel out. We're going to be left with X is equal to 5. Carry 7, that's 45. I'm hoping. Let's see. So 7 minus 3 is 4. Yes, we're good. So I do know that I can solve for those out. Just to make sure, you guys need to make sure that you guys are reading the problems all the way. It might ask you to plug back in for a value. We'll see those in the example. So now that you guys have these, try the following out. So that's the first one, second one, and third one. Pause it right now. Take your time, copy those down and do them. See what you get to the answers. Okay, this only works if you pause it and do the problems yourself. This is how it's practiced for you guys. Because if you do it correctly, you know you're doing it right. If you just skip it to the end, you're not really learning anything. You're just watching a video and wasting your time. So do that for me. Pause it. Chipotle. Good. Looking at these, I know you guys are able to solve for these, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with those. Again, we're working with this triangle sum theorem, so we know that always add up to 180. Most importante. So when looking at this, we're going to go ahead and try them. We have our value we got to solve out for. We got to solve for X in this case, or the variable that you leave it at, or however you want to do it. But you know that they always add up. So I'm going to say X plus 50. I know that this angle is right, so I know that to be 90. So I'm going to go ahead and say plus 90 is equal to 180. So I'm going to go ahead and add these up and get 140 is equal to 180 plus X. I'm going to subtract out 140 from both sides. And this is going to lead us with 140 and 140 canceling. And we're going to be left with X is equal to 40. So I'm hoping you guys got that for the value. If you need to plug it in for that, whatever. You guys can. I know you guys can. You have a calculator on your cell phones anywhere. Looking at the next one, it's a little bit more harder because you're actually solving a little bit more. It shouldn't be too complicated. You guys are good kids. So here we go. We have our 55, 80, and 4x plus 1. We know all angles add up to 90. So we're going to go ahead and say 80 plus 55 plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 180. Okay, hope you guys saw that. I was kind of lying through it, but I apologize. We're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So 80, 55, and 1. So 8, let's see, This would be 5, 6. That's going to be 6, so that's 136 plus 4x is equal to 180. If you need a calculator, definitely use a calculator. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 136 and 136 to both sides. I'm left with 4x is equal to, let's see, 4, 7, 6, 5, 4. So I'm getting 44. I'm going to divide out by both sides by 4. I'm hoping you guys have a little bit more room, but we're going to get x is equal to 11. It's kind of the most important part right there. Hopefully you guys are able to see that, but good enough. That's what we want to identify. The last one is a little bit trickier, but I want you guys to use your guys' rules and stuff like that to help me out. In this case, you guys should know that whenever angles make a cross or an X, they make a vertical angle. So we can be able to solve for this using the same kind of deal. So I know that 65 right here is also 65 in here because it's vertical. And I know because this one is vertical as well, X plus 61 as well is also in there. So those are two parts that are vertical angles. We know that we can then solve for the sum of those by adding them all up and equal them to 180. So x plus 61 plus 65 plus, I don't know why it keeps on doing that, but I'm going to go and erase it. Whoa. What did I do? Oh, sorry. Still learning this. So I'm going to go and erase. I don't know what that's all. There it goes. Perfect. So when getting to these, we want to be able to add them all up. 61 plus 65 plus x plus 76 is equal to 180. So 65, 61, 76. There's a lot of numbers. So that's 6 and 5 is 11. 11 and 1 is 12. 12. Let's see, it's 8. 202 plus 2x is equal to 180. I'm hoping that's right. When we simplify this out, we're actually going to subtract out 202. I'm hoping I didn't mess that up. We're going to get 2x is equal to 22 or negative 22. Divide that out, we're going to get x is equal to negative 11. Now, if I really wanted you guys to, I will have you plug it back in and saw what that value is. So just make sure you guys are reading the questions to understand what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and move on. The next part of this and the next final section that we're really going to focus on, and I really want you guys to do well on, is our exterior angle theorem, where the sum of the two remote theorems, or sum of the two remotes equals to the exterior. So copy those down. I'll give you guys the first couple of problems. So look at those. Those are our quick notes. My quick notes on them is just that you know that you have an exterior angle comes off one of the sides of the triangle. We can equal it to the two remote angles, or the two angles that are furthest away from that exterior angle inside of a triangle. And that's what we want to get at for those. So please pause it, copy those down, hit playback again when you're ready. I'm going to go and get started on these. So when looking at these, I want to be able to just identify. I'm going to use different colors for you guys. My remote angle up here is 76, and 26 is my other remote angle. And it also provides me the exterior angle that I want to look for. It kind of is this one on the outside of the triangle, and you can use that to help you solve. Definitely want you guys to be able to do that. So we know that the two interiors add up to the exteriors, so I know that it's going to be 76 plus 26 is equal to question mark. In this case, we'll do this again and say x. 76 and 26 is 12. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 102. So the exterior angle of that is 102 degrees. Okay, if it asks you to plug it back in, make sure you guys do that. Looking at the next one, I'm sorry if you couldn't see it, but we're going to go ahead and say that we're going to look at the portion of this. Again, we have the interior remote, or the interior remote angles. would be 88. So I know that those two add up. So I'm going to say 88 plus, we'll just give it another term. I'll say z this time. We know that z will also equal to the remote exterior angle, which is this 118. 118. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract. Let's give that a z. I'm going to subtract 88 from both sides. Subtract 88 from both sides. These two are going to go away. Therefore, z will be equal to 0, 30. That's right, 30. We're good. Okay, so we know that we can solve for those. Again, this is 30 degrees when we plug it back in here. Okay, we're just solving for the angle. Okay, the last final two is the following. So I'll try to move my video this time. Oh, do I need to? I'll keep it there. Go ahead and copy those down, pause the videos, and when you're ready, hit play, and we'll see how you did. Hoping you did that, which is what I'm looking for. Looking at these two parts, I know that I can use a remote angle theorem. That's the main topic of this. I'm hoping you pay attention to that, that we can find the remote angles. I'm going to go ahead and identify both the remote angles on both problems just to kind of help that out. Again, they're on the interior sides. They're away from the exterior angle that we're solving for. And our remote angles on the outside. So this is our remote angle here and our remote angle here, which will help us solve out and solve, which will help us solve for a value. So looking at these, I'm going to go ahead and add the 50 and this 12x plus 7. So 50 plus 12x plus 7 is equal to the remote part, so 25x plus 5. Okay, this is working out a little bit harder because you guys got to be able to do the problem solving. So I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms, right? Don't call Mexico after midnight. Combine like terms, distribute, move small value of x, add, subtract, multiply, divide. Hope you guys got that. So we're going to get 57 plus 12x is equal to 25x plus 5. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring all my numbers to the left side, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. I'm going to get 52 plus 12x is equal to 25x. I'm going to move my small value of x over to the other side. I'm going to be left with 52 is equal to, let's see, 113x, and I believe that's 4. We divide out both sides by 13. X will be equal to, let's see, 4. Yeah, 4. 4 is definitely our answer for this. So I can find out what that value was if I wanted to plug them back in into this angle or that angle to solve that out. It might ask you to, hint, 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 hint. So definitely be able to do those. The last problem that we're going to do for this review is 38. We're going to go ahead and do example number 2. So 38, 12x plus 12x minus 5 is equal to 16x plus 5. So we're getting those values right there. We want to combine like terms first, which will give me a 33 plus 12x is equal to 16x plus 5. Okay, whoa, I don't know what happened again. I apologize. Let's see if it just knocks someone up. Oh, yeah, there it is. Still learning this again, still learning this as you guys are doing this. I'm going to go ahead and subtract out 5 from both sides. We're going to go ahead and simplify out both sides. 33 minus 5. I've always had struggling with these, so these are going to cancel out. Take away 5 from 30. 28, hopefully. Plus 2x equal to 16x. Subtracting out 2x from both sides. We're going to be left with 28 is equal to 14x. Divide out both sides by 14. And we're going to get x is equal to dose. Okay, so that sums up what we did today. On the bottom, you'll find the bit.ly that's located there if you want to review. This is the first part of it. I like how I did this. Let me know your feedback in the comments below. Just tippy type on there. Submit. We'll see you guys. All right, guys.